Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, I am your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully, you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you are watching us from across Facebook Live, DLive, Twitch, and or YouTube, which I had a few issues with just a moment. For some reason, I think the Russian bots are somehow back from the Illuminati trying to shut us down. Anyways, guys, hopefully you're doing absolutely fantastic. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about the current price of Bitcoin. We're going to talk about some fundamental events. We're going to do your analysis, and we're going to take requests for charts that you guys would like to look at. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, make sure to throw them. Is it over here? It's over here. Yes, in the chat. Yes, and we'll get to them as soon as possible. Of course, today is going to be June 5th, 2019, Valley Year of our Lord. All right, guys. Good to see you guys. Thank you guys to all the early comers. You go chill. I see you over there on DLive, man. What's going on, brother? Light Rainy. I see It's Hard. Christian Dubbick, Zach Coma, Elijah Finch, Dominus Spinay, Wayne Tech, and of course, Mr. Ferguson. Hello to you. And Ron Legato, of course. All right, guys. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it and get over to the charts. All right, guys. Here we go. And making a little adjustment here. Sorry about that. I think my webcam is on full retreat. I'm going to have to get a new one. Anyways, guys, so here we are on Crypto Bubbles, just kind of looking at overall what the market is going to do today. And the one thing that kind of piques my interest is this baby right here, Raven. Up, all the way, good rise up, and then down. And that's exactly the mentality. You know, I spent a long time, I spend a lot of time, actually, in my day-to-day life, mentoring and counseling and talking to individuals who are either group members or friends of mine or people who are traders. And Cosmovos, by the way, thank you over there for the follow on Twitch, my good friend. And, you know, the cryptocurrency markets are not necessarily unique to any other market that you would trade. Again, there's volatility, price moves up and then it moves down. And ideally, you want to get into price on the movement to the upside and then sell it before it starts coming back down. That's the entire point of trend following, as opposed to reversal, which is where you're trying to predict that something is going to start moving down when it is moving up, or you're going to predict that something is going to start moving up while it is currently moving down. Again, we don't do that. We don't trade against the dominant trend. The only time that we will try to catch price moving up as it is moving down is if it's already in a pre-established bullish trend, and overall, statistically, it has a higher chance of going up than continuing to go down. But generally, when something is bearish, what denotes bearish or bullish? Our baseline, the trend line, that establishes trend for us. Typically, when something is above our baseline and or trend line, then it is going to continue to move in that direction, right? So that's the idea. That's the idea of finding, the title says it all. You broke Bitcoin up. Well, I'd like to think that I have the power to bring down the market. But in general, I'm just a trader, man. A man with his keyboard. Okay, so anyways, moving right along. And Hedgehog Coin, still doing quite well. Hedgehog Coin, nice pump and dump. We're going to see how far that retreats to the other time. Now, this is over the last day. Let's look at how price is doing over the last hour. And over the last hour, we've got some nice bullishness, right? So there's a nice 1 hour window of opportunity there for anybody that was taking trades. Overall, my trades are looking quite nicely. A couple trades in drawdown, most of them in profit. It's exactly what I like to see. Now, Obviously, I'm still in, for the major positions, still short on, I'm short on Bitcoin, I'm short on Ethereum, I'm actually short on ZERP USD, long on ZERP BTC, which, you know, try to work that thing out. But again, we just trade the charts, and the charts tell us what they tell us, and we take the trades that are told to take. So anyways, guys, taking a little bit of sip of water there. Now let's get over here to the main scene and kind of look what's going on. So over the last day, what we've seen that's kind of interesting to me is a drop off of not only the longs, not only the shorts, but both in conjunction with each other. And to be honest, something like that is actually a healthy thing to see, right? What that is a sign of consolidation. It means that shorts are taking their profits from the movement to the downside that they've capitalized on. Longs are continuing to hedge against their long positions because they're uncertain of which way the direction of the market's going to go in the future. By the way, Starman07 and You Go Chill, thanks for the follows over there on DLive. And this is exactly what you're going to see after a volatile movement. And what this is letting you know, exactly, long and shorts wrecked, consolidation. Right? This is letting you know that speculators in the market or traders in the market, individuals like us, are unsure of what the future direction of the market's going to go. Now, overall, the trend has now turned bearish. Why? Because we have fallen below and closed convincingly below our baseline, which is something that we have not done in the entirety of this movement to the upside. Just one second. Let's see here. I lost my train of thought there for a quick second. Cool. So, well, all right. Just moving on to the next topic then. Moving on to the next topic. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin and break Bitcoin down and look at volatility and market movements today. All right. So here we are on Bitcoin. Obviously, we did close below the baseline right here at the close of this daily candle. I exited my Bitcoin positions. I moved into USDT. I moved into a 1x short on my primary position. And then on the close of this candle, I moved into a regular full position size for a short that I would normally take, right? That way I'm able to reduce risk. There's multiple different ways to do this. As I was talking to different members this morning, how do you kind of balance that with going 1x short and then taking on a leveraged exchange? There's a couple solutions to this. One is that you just move your excess capital into another exchange. If you're on ByBit, if you're on whatever exchange that you're trading futures on, if you're going to take a regular position size where you can short an exchange. So you can either move your excess capital off of the exchange. You can move your excess capital into a different pair. Now, this is something that you can currently do on BitMEX because everything is traded against XBT. You can't currently do this on ByBit until they implement the coin swap feature, which is coming out later this summer. So that's going to be the easy solution right now, is because remember, when you're 1x short, your capital, because you're trading a volatile underlying asset, your capital is preserved no matter what you do. So if you are, regardless of what exchange you're on, if you can move into another asset easily and then 1x short that asset, you can protect the large majority of your capital. Meanwhile, on your primary account or your primary XBT USD, BTC USD, a pair that you're trading, you can take a full risk short, right? You can take a full risk position size. And the point of leverage, remember, in the first place, is to only apply the margin that you need and apply the leverage that you need to take a correct position size pursuant to how much capital you have on deposit, okay? Now, some of the solutions are easier. Some of them are a little bit more cumbersome, especially when you cannot do instant deposits and withdrawals, for example, from BitMEX and ByBit. So, but the best solution would be, in my opinion, to apply the leverage that you need. Either A, move into another asset and 1x short that, so you're preserving your USD capital, or move onto something like Binance or Coinbase or wherever you're doing your spot holdings and move into USDT or move into USD. That's going to be the best case solution until we have a better functionality. Now, again, this is relatively easy to do on MEX currently. The only thing that I trade on MEX are altcoins. Because you can just simply go from XBT to whatever you're doing because everything is traded against XBT. Currently on ByBit, you do have to wait until they implement CoinSwap, which is in their roadmap. So anyways, yes. So based on what we see on the charts, we do see that Minx did end up signaling a short yesterday. Wada Atar Explosion actually would have signaled a short the previous day. So on the exact day that I did move my capital into a 1x short and move my excess capital that is not on a futures exchange into USDT and USD. Same with, so the only holdings, again, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So fully in cash, fully in USDT, and a full risk position size, both on Ethereum, both on XBT, and both on XRP USD, actually, to the downside. So moving right along, let's go through the daily right here. And we did see, obviously, a little bit of a bounce. Obviously, the bottom got bought up right here. Price did end up bouncing off the bottom. Let's see here, I want to say, yeah, about 3% off the bottom, okay, which is exactly what you're going to see after a volatile movement to the downside. Price is going to bounce back up a little bit. You're going to have consolidation, and then you trade in the direction of which the way price moves. So right now, overall, the mass majority of my capital is protected, so it doesn't really matter which way the market moves. If it moves up, overall, the large majority of my capital is protected by being in a 1x short. And then the trade that I've put on, which is a full risk trade to short Bitcoin, that's just a trade. If it's a loss, it's a loss. If it's a win, it's a win. Same for Ethereum and same for XRP USD. The way that you position size allows you to not ever let one position put your account in mass tragedy. So, whether the trade is a winner or a loser, I mean, that's a coin flip. Every single individual trade is a 50-50 chance of winning. It's the statistical odds over your system, over the lifetime of your trading that makes or breaks a trader, right? You have to, and to find that number, you have to keep records. You have to keep a trading journal. You have to look at your actual P&L. You have to actually look at your profits and losses, and you have to look at where your money is going, what trades are costing you money, what trades are making you money, and then again, it's just optimization. You attempt to maximize the aspects of your strategy that are putting on the correct trades and minimize the aspects of your strategy that are putting on the wrong trades. And that's exactly what PTP does. That's exactly what we focus on with our stream, and that's how I trade personally. So what you will not hear on this stream is anything bankrolling or putting lots of certainty behind any one trade. Anybody that does that does not understand trading. There's no such thing as certainty in one individual position size. It is literally a coin flip. There is nothing you can do. Literally nothing you can do. No excess amount of analysis, no additional Bollinger Bands, no additional indicators that you can apply to a chart to make you feel any more comfortable or give you any more certainty as to whether any one individual trade will be a winner or a loser, right? It is literally a coin flip. It can go up or it can go down. It can hit your, because what defines a winner or a loser? Does it hit your take profit or does it hit your stop loss? It's going to do one of those things, right? The argument that price can just move sideways, sure it can, but eventually price will move and it will either hit your take profit or it will hit your stop loss. It is a binary option. It is Boolean. So because of that, and because it is impossible to predict the future, even with insider information, you're still bankrolling on that insider information being correct and playing out in your favor. So again, one thing that I really, really stress that people understand, and this is what I think is the most misleading thing about trading and trading educators and just trading in general, right? Just understanding probability, is that people generally are not good at math, and people generally do not understand statistics because they're not fields, honestly, that we do a very good job of teaching individuals in our public school system. And again, our public school system is terrible, but that's a rant for another day that I've already done and we'll probably move on to more in the future. However, in my opinion, and what I can see here is that this bounce back to the upside is not very deterministic. It's not very strong. There's honestly, let's actually take a look at volume. I would expect, yes. So the daily candle hasn't closed, but overall little volume. Now we did have a volume spike on yesterday's candle, and that's exactly what you're going to see when something moves down with high momentum below our baseline and then finds a local bottom and then bounces up, right? So of course there's going to be a lot of volume. Why? Because there was a lot of selling on this candle, and then there was a lot of buyback, right? Enough buyback to push us back up 3%. Now, price did wick up to about a 50% retrace of the previous downside candle, but it doesn't matter how high we wick up. The only thing that matters is where do we close? And as we can see, we're currently putting in a doji candle right now on the daily, expecting the day to most likely close like this. Of course, it could rally. It could continue to dump. Doesn't really matter. The position that I'm in is going to be a short. I will exit that position when told to exit that short, as PTP tells me to do, or that's it. Actually, that's literally it. That's literally it. I either get an early exit, it hits my stop loss, or it hits my take profit. But overall, again, I probably, unless something drastic happens, unless a significant market move comes in, I most likely will continue as I am now. For, I would expect probably 3 days to a week, right? I expect 3 days to a week of either consolidation or we're going to see continued movement to the downside. I would be surprised if price immediately bounced back up and re-entered into a bullish trend. Would I be happy if that happened? Yes. Would I move back into Bitcoin from fiat and USDT? Yes. Would I establish a long position and probably take a loss, whether it's, regardless whether it's a lower end of the spectrum of a lower size loss or the middle or higher spectrum of a loss that I'm allowed to take with my account? Yes, I would move back into a long because I'm not stubborn. I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to do any predicting. I'm here to make money as a trader. I'm here to extract profit from the market. That's what I do. That's my job. And I think that mindset, again, that's what I teach individuals. That's the mindset that I teach individuals to adopt, is that, you never want to be right. You don't want to come into this, market trying to be right. You never want to think, well, I entered into a short, so if price doesn't move down, I'm an idiot. Well, it has nothing to do with that, right? You win some and you lose some. The goal is to win more than you lose, to win the vast majority of your trades. Because if you start putting your ego behind a trade, you're going to run into problems. You're going to have a bad time. And that's generally what most traders do. They're unable to separate. They're unable to separate statistics from their ego, right? It's difficult for most people to do, but it's very, very important to do. Hugo Chill, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much. He said, for those of you who can't see, he said, listening, I'm a range trader, and it is dumb to say, but since I started implementing your mindset and advice combined with my strategy I already had, well, really cool. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. Crypto Annie, thank you so much. Let me answer some questions over here on YouTube that I get. Let's see here. Duct tape time. Oh, shoot. Yeah, sorry, guys, for the YouTube issues this morning. Light Rainy says, why ByBit over BitMEX? I mean, yeah, I see some answers that people have asked, but for me, in general, system overload is completely unacceptable. BitMEX, with the liquidity that it has and the volume that it has, being the largest exchange, the largest futures exchange, and let's be quite honest, I mean, it's the largest cryptocurrency exchange. For it to have the volume that it does, for it to be making the profits that it is, and still have a matching engine that favors small individuals, a small pool of large traders over the mass of its customers, right? You have to understand that exchanges are there to make money, right? Exchanges are there to make money off of you. If you're a losing trader, generally an exchange is going to make more money off of you because then they're going to, because most exchanges are going to trade against you. Again, there's nothing wrong about that or stupid. You would do it too. That's dealing desk exchanges. You have to understand that they're there to make money. And if they weren't there, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So it's just how capitalism works. Raymond Trinkle III, thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube. So the fact that I've never had an issue with system overload ever. Again, I've heard some things from some people. There was one time when ByBit did a system upgrade, I think in the last month. But other than that, I have never, ever, ever, ever been locked out of a trade and not been able to enter into a trade, even at high volatility. As opposed to system overload, which literally happens every single day on BitMEX if the market is moving. So that's one of the big reasons that I moved over. I found ByBit's customer support, customer service top notch. They're based in Singapore, which gives me a lot of trust. Singapore has some of the strictest financial regulations in the world. For example, CFDs banned in Singapore and America. Okay. They got a good interface. They got a good roadmap. They're very communicative. And it does everything that I want them to do. And Arthur Hayes isn't over there. And yeah, as Ricky Thompson says, I mean, the wicks are profitable, right? But for somebody like me, who is not a reversal trader, wicks aren't as attractive as otherwise. I like sustained trending movements, right? I like genuine price appreciation, right? Genuine trend, genuine volume, genuine movement, right? I'm not a scalper, right? So the wicks are less ideal for me. And the fact that, again, if you're constantly getting wicked out, it's because you're setting your stop loss wrong. But trading on BitMEX required a unique strategy. You had to make modifications to your strategy to account for these FU wicks, right? And you get almost none of those on ByBit. And Anton Creel lives in Singapore. Shout out to Anton Creel. Zach Homa says Justin the Wise. I'll settle for Justin the Profitable. But thank you guys. I appreciate that. Okay. So Bitcoin putting in a little bit of bullish movement to the upside here on the lower time frame charts, as is Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum and Litecoin. So interesting. Kind of what you'd see off the bottom. So anyways. Look. Yes, BitMEX has more wicks than any exchange I've ever traded on in my entire life. So we can go down the lower time frames and see when we would have potentially got a short entry to the downside here. As we can see, Wadatar Explosion actually signals a short on this candle. Minx actually gives you the go-ahead on this candle, letting you capture profitable movements here. Going down to the 8-hour time frame as well. Let's see here. Wadatar Explosion signaling a short on this candle. Minx giving you the go-ahead for the short on this 8-hour candle as well. And we also want to talk about what they're doing now, of course. Right now on the daily, Minx telling you to do nothing. Minx does not frequently give you a signal. For example, here was our continuation long on this candle, and we didn't get another one until this candle, which was an L. So on the 12-hour chart, Minx is telling you to do nothing. In fact, Minx is on the close of today's candle going to tell you to go ahead and exit your short position, the one that you would have put on here or here in a profit. Similar for the 8-hour candle, actually, we would have taken the position either here or here. And right now, the 8-hour candle is telling you to be out of your position, which is good. It got you out pretty much right at the top. You would have exited on the close of this 8-hour candle. 6-hour, similar as well. Right here, getting told to take profit after taking the short on the 6-hour right here. You could have taken it. No, you couldn't have taken that one because we were not below the baseline right there. 4-hour candle. We get the short signal from Minx here, as well as Wadatar. And we get told to take profit here and here as well. Let's see. We get multiple continuation shorts on the lower time frames on the 3-hour chart here. Actually, on the 3-hour, we're going to be getting a continuation short right now in this candle. And on the 30-minute chart, it's actually letting you go ahead and take a LTF short, or excuse me, an LTF long. But again, we're not trading against the dominant trend. So the last 30-minute signal to the upside gave you about a 1 to 2% profit opportunity. This one over here gave you about a 0.88% profit opportunity. We'll see how high this one runs up. Again, we do have that 30-minute 55 exponential moving average currently acting as resistance as well. And on the 15-minute chart, this is a losing long, this is a winning long, this is a winning long, and you're still currently in a 15-minute long if you would have taken this signal. So for the higher time frames, nothing to do for me except hold my short open. If I was trading on the meso time frames, I would have already had a profitable position and most likely be looking to take profit on it. But again, I'm not going to go ahead and do that because when I enter a position on a daily time frame, I wait for a daily signal. All right, it's very pursuant to the way that I trade. So if we go ahead and take a look, let's go ahead and look over at Ethereum as well. Ethereum on Coinbase. Ethereum on Coinbase similarly breaking the daily bullish trend on the close of the 2nd of June candle right here. Again, that's the exact same candle where we entered into a 1x short, sold our Ethereum holdings as well. In a short, because we do get the signal from Minx on this candle right here, as well as the signal from Wadatar on the previous candle. So we do have confirmation. And not really a whole lot to say. Similar, good volume previously on this last candle. And when I look at the volume on yesterday's candle, the way that yesterday closed with a little bit of the buyback, again, that's exactly what you're going to see after a volatile movement in any direction, and then price consolidates for a while. It's not at all, in my opinion, the kind of volume that you want to see for the bottom. I think that we're going to have more downside. Just denoted by the fact that we're below the baseline now, and price is likely to continue in that direction until we see a shift in volume. All right. So going down to the 12-hour chart. Similarly as well, Wada called for a short here, Minx called for a short here. Currently being told to take profit on your short if you had taken a 12-hour position. Not signaling for you to take any long on the 12-hour. On the 8-hour time frame, same thing. Got a short on Wadatar and Minx on the exact same candle over here, and told to take profit on this candle right here, still below the baseline. No signal to go long. On the 6-hour chart, similarly short here, Wadatar gave you one here, but you wouldn't have taken that one. You would have taken this one. Would have been a good short and profit on the 6-hour. Profit on the 6-hour candle right there. No signal to go long. On the 4-hour time frame, you have had a continuation short here, and still holding that. You're coming up and potentially broaching the 4-hour baseline. Let's go to the 3-hour chart. No long signal on the 3-hour. The hourly is actually throwing up a long signal. And actually, Wadatar actually gave you a long signal on the previous candle. And you are currently getting Minx confirmation right now. For those of you who do want to take a counter trend hourly long, it's not any trade that I take. 30-minute got you into an Ethereum long here and over here. And 15-minute candle got you into an Ethereum long here and here and here. So it's actually 3 decent longs. This one's actually probably a loss because you do close below the baseline right here. So you're probably out of that trade. This one right now is working out fairly well, as is this one. And there's not much more to say there. So nothing to do from me. Leapy on Twitch asks, what is telling me to short? Okay, let's go over to the daily chart and let's look here. We have a close below my baseline. We have a signal from my secondary indicator. And then on this candle, we have a signal from my primary indicator to go short. Do I think there's any risk of us rallying back to 8,200? Of course. Anything could happen. What is the primary indicator? That's Minx. That's my indicator. Well, thank you, Cryptomonot. I highly appreciate that. That is a 13-period exponential moving average. Chicago Crypto Hustler. This is TradingView, Raymond. Fario Sturk asks for T-Fuel to Bitcoin. Let's check it out, man. Wayne Tech says, if I'm not already in a short, is it still okay to find a place to put it in at this point in time? So in PTP, we have 1-day discretionary rule. So let's take a look at Quadriga ATR, which is our stop and target system, and let's figure out if we can. So are we within 1 ATR of the baseline? So black line denotes that. This is our qualifying line. So here's our baseline. Here's our ATR band. On the close of this daily candle, because we only trade in a certain window of time. So if in that window of time, at the daily close, price is within this boundary, which it is right now, then yes. Why do I prefer the 13 exponential moving average over, let's say, the 20 or the 50? Because I don't want my baseline to be support and resistance. So something like the 20 is going to be slower and not allow you to take the right trades that you need to take, right? What the baseline's function is not to act as a magnet. It's not there for support. The baseline is there to tell you which direction the trend is. So you need something that syncs up well with your indicators, and you need something that works with them, not against them. Because if your baseline is too slow, then it's going to not be in sync with your indicators and not allow you to be entering into positions. It's going to act against you. You're going to be fighting your baseline. You don't want to be fighting your baseline. While you are a member, Light Rainy, we don't currently sell licenses for our indicators separate from the premium group. However, something we're thinking of, but I don't have any firm concrete plans, so I don't want to tell you something that isn't reality. Okay, so I feel good about this so far. It doesn't really matter how I feel, though. You just trade exactly what you're supposed to do. So coming over here to T-Fuel, we don't see anything on the hourly, on the daily. So you know what we have to do? We have to start moving down the time frames until we have enough data to take a educated trade. I don't feel like we have enough data on the 12-hour chart because we do not have WADA. So we'll go down to the 8-hour. Again, I don't feel like we have enough data on the 6-hour. Typically with these, I go down until I find information. So actually, interestingly enough here, on the 6-hour chart, we actually do have a long on this trade right here, right? We have rising volume. We are going above the trend line. we go down to the 4-hour chart, you know, this hasn't really worked out too well for us. And if we look at the daily, there's not really a lot of volume. And what we really do want, one thing that we need to consider is that for a trend to emerge, we need volume, okay? And one of the things that people kind of overlook is, and the reason why is because most people have really gotten this concept in their head that cryptocurrency moves quickly and then it stops moving, right? So if you don't buy it and then catch that one big pump, you're not going to make a profit. And that's really not the case. That is the case if you are trading the way that most people have had to trade over the course of 2018. You know, the trading strategy that people put on to take in a market where you can only take trades to the upside during a bear market, for example, are not going to work in a bull market. Okay, they're not going to work in a bull market. They're not going to work in a bullish trend. So the reality is that throughout 2018, people were just scrabbling and scrambling to catch pump and dumps. Okay, let's just be real about it. And mostly watching their portfolios go up and smoke. But the reality is that when things are bullish and there's lots of volume pouring into coins, genuine trends emerge. Those are the trades to take. So you want to patiently wait for a trend to emerge, and you can see if a trend emerges through a combination of indicators and volume. Right? So we need to have some volume to get some real movement here. And looking at the daily volume, I mean, it's just non-existent. So this is really not something that I'd be interested in trading, because that is something that I look at on the higher time frames before I start moving down to lower time frames. So again, on the hourly, we're not getting a signal. On the 30-minute, we are getting a signal, but there's no volume and there's no confirmation of it. Yeah. On the 3-hour, we might be getting a continuation long. Maybe. But yeah. I'm not really digging this chart, man. Correct, Marlon. There are several other things that can happen as well, like you can get an early exit, for example. Action. Cloudery. All right, let's check it out. Seller BTC. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Let's see here. Seller BTC gave you a long signal over here on the 30th of May, 2019. And so far is doing quite well for you. We've already hit take profit 1. We're close to hitting take profit 2. So your stop loss would be at break even right now. And you're up about 30%. You are going to get a continuation long on the close of this candle. And it does fit all the requirements of taking a continuation long. So it is possible that you can enter into a trade on the close of this daily candle. Again, we just need to kind of see how the daily closes. XLM BTC. You know, here's the thing, man. XLM BTC is giving you a long signal, but we need to close above the baseline. We need to close above the baseline. And there's really not a lot of volume there. Declining volume as price is moving towards resistance. Resistance denoted by our baseline. This could be a trade. This could be a trade. But I don't know, man. Makes me a little hesitant. This is not really, when I look at this chart, it doesn't really pop out at me and say, wow. So because I don't trade like that, I just look at what my indicators are doing. And I look at Minx and I say, okay, well, we're signaling along. And then I look at our baseline and I say, okay, well, where's that baseline at? 1579 right now. And where is price at? Price is currently sitting at 1579. So, I mean, just by hook or by crook, we could close a few sats up. If we look down at WADA, we are getting confirmation as well. So, okay, maybe we can do something here. No music today. Let's throw it on. Hey, Lostray, thank you so much. 1 USDT. Again, so very similar with what were we just looking at? I cannot think of what we were just looking at. Jeez. Not seller. What the heck was I just looking at? That had almost no price data. Wasn't Matic. I guess this is just what happens when you get old, man. You're just going to start forgetting things. No, I don't know. One of these days. One of those things. It was a coin. T-Fuel. There you go. Thank you so much. Well, that's about it for the day, guys. I think that was a great show, and I'm just going to go back to rewind and see. You're the dude, man. You figure it out. Anyways, so here we are on 1 USDT, and very similarly to what I was talking about with T-Fuel, you know, there's not a lot of data here to make an educated decision. So we need to start going down to time frames so we can get an educated decision. But one thing that we want to notice is on the daily. I wouldn't say that there's amazing volume, but this is okay volume. We already have initiation volume right here that began a trend. So as long as we don't see a massive spike in volume, trend should continue. In general, 12-hour actually looks pretty healthy. As you can see, big initiation volume right here and price continuing to move up. Da Vinci, in our premium group, one of our analysts, has been trading this up, down, left, right, and sideways. So I don't feel there's enough information on the 4-hour to make a good educated decision. The 3-hour, maybe. Okay, so the 3-hour, maybe. You do get a long signal here. That's an L. And that's an L2 on the 3-hour chart. So you got your first continuation there. And that's just because there's not enough data here to make a good decision. So the hourly is probably where we're going to have to live, honestly. The hourly is where we're going to have to live. And so let's take a gander here. That's a bad long. And that's a good long. And that's a bad one. Here's a great one. Not so bueno. And here, right here. This is a pretty decent one right here. This is a pretty decent long right here. So there is a good trade here on the hourly. Let's go to the 30. Good long signal right here. Very good long signal. Caught you in all that last movement to the upside. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not doing fantastic, honestly. Thought of something. Elijah, thank you so much, man, for the coffee, brother. Mid-Earth Crypto, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. And Michael Raub, thank you so much over there for the subscription on YouTube as well. I got to pull up my sticky notes because I was just looking at this. I just thought of an idea to do something with Minx. Interesting. Hey, Ed McCracken, you always watch us, brother. Holler at me, man. I have down here that I should have sent you a t-shirt like last month. I haven't pulled up my sticky notes for a while. All right, so I'm going to go back to the code cave here in a little bit and make a little adjustment to Minx's code. Esmalol, what's going on, brother? Can I explain what I normally do at Take Profit 2 and Take Profit 3? I typically take profit. At Take Profit 3, I always use trailing take profit. I can do that very easily in 3 commas. If I'm trading on a platform, if I'm not on Binance, or if I'm on something that 3 commas can't use, which again, I only trade on Binance, ByBit, BitMEX, and Deribit. Then I will set an alert for Take Profit 3, and that is the only time when I do something. So if a Take Profit gets hit, I pull open my phone and I adjust my trailing stop. Hey, Brian Screech, good to see you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Speaking of which, man, Esmalol, send me an email, bro. I was looking at some of that code. I want to do some stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? When Zach, when Trailing Crypto launched, I was right there, and I like them. They're good people, but I'm still using 3 commas, so I haven't checked them out maybe in a month. I'm gonna check it out. Ooh, Light Rainy, you might be very, very close to that. Yes, that is correct. Light Rainy hit the nail on the head. And there's a couple different ways to do it, right? There's a couple different ways to do it. You can use Quadriga. Take it easy, Eric. Good to see you, brother. You can use Quadriga, which would have you doing it exactly as you just talked about, S. Or you can use a system where you can actually wait for your indicators to tell you to exit the market. Now, there's upsides and downsides to that. Upsides is you're going to catch a huge trend. Downsides is you're going to catch them less often, because those don't come around as often as trades where price goes up and then comes down in a more quick fashion, if that makes sense. A little bit too stumps for me. Okay, so there were some other requests up here. T-Fuel. Thanks, guys. You guys are good. Oh. Go here. Can I look at Kenya Coin? Okay, let's check it out. Come on, Coin Paprika, don't let me down. Looks like there must have been a rumor. That baby just shot up, man. Shot up about 70%. That's a lot of volume, man. You know, like I said, common logic would tell you to be really afraid of those things. Candles like that don't scare me. It looks like a potentially decent trade. I'd feel like it's probably far too high above our qualifying line. But if we can get this to pull back in then that's something that we could potentially take. A lot of volume there, man. This can start a trend. Volume like that is what initiates a trend. But, you know, the fact that it came out of nowhere is also indicative. Generally, you want to see rising volume and then a big explosive movement. But keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on it. X Haven, huh? Oh, I don't really see a trade on 1 USDT, by the way. If I didn't say that. Ooh, X Haven just popped up a little bit. X Haven's all right, but there's no trade here yet. Minx is not telling us to do anything. In fact, our BPM line is below noise. So this is actually typically what you want to see for a short. Wada Atar is giving you not a trade because you have a falling explosion level. So yeah, nothing to do here, man. Let's give it a few days and see if it's still bullish. Go BTC. Actually looks all right, man. Had a pretty nasty wick down below the baseline, but immediate pullback or immediate buyback. Still right at consolidation. Yeah, let's see what happens, man. Nothing to drop. What programming languages do I use? Just Pine, man. Don't know anything else. Binba. Nothing to do on BNB yet. Consolidation, you don't generally want to take the first move out of consolidation unless you have confirmation, which we don't actually have. We don't have confirmation here. In fact, both Minx is not signaling to do anything. In fact, we did just cross into the noise line, which all that tells you is to exit your short position. And WADA isn't telling us to do anything here either, so. Let's take a gander.
This party started. I got the music playing loud. How you like my outfit? I have to say I'm kinda proud. I got my dancing shoes on, and I'm feeling dangerous. Let's get this party started. Yeah, we gon' be adventurous. We went to the club like we always do. This girl caught my eye, said, "How do you do?" She said, "I am not interested, thank you." Then she left the room. Bartender. I'll have the usual. Give me the usual. I'll take the usual. I'll have the usual.
You guys know how I feel about head and shoulders patterns, but this thing looks like it might have some dandruff. I'm not gonna lie. Ricky Thompson, you should move over to you should check out basic attention token. That's quite a claim to make, Edwin. If you have something like that, then yes, come into the Discord and DM it to me or send it to my email, please. VChain, huh? Now, I didn't add any altcoin Bitcoin positions last night or altcoin USDT positions for one simple reason. I'm already in a lot of positions. Let's see here. So Okay, yeah. So we'd actually be getting a long signal on today's candle. We did get one yesterday, and had we gone on yesterday's candle, we would have just barely missed our first take profit. That's all right, though. So let's see how the daily closes, bro. Mike, Marcus, what's going on, brother? Bet? Bet looks really good, man. This was a long on this candle. Exit. Do a baseline rule you can enter here, but we're not there yet. And you're going to get a continuation long here, but... you're pretty close to that unqualifying line. But we'll see. This could be a trade. This could be a continuation of the day at the end of the close. Well, unless you can, Edwin, unless you can really convince me that I'm unable to see correctly and that I also cannot do math, what I can tell you is that every single penny that I put onto any exchange, I account for in my trading journal every night. And I have not noticed this problem. Generally, when I hear stuff like what you're saying, and again, I could be completely incorrect, but I'm just going to tell you the truth, man. Generally, the person doesn't do their math, doesn't keep a trading journal, and makes bad trading decisions, and then wants to run around and say that it's a scam. So just like people who bought Bitcoin at 18,000 and lost a lot of money want to say that Bitcoin's a scam, no, you just aren't very good at it. So I could be completely off, but I've had no issues with ByBit. So I do think you're completely wrong, and you're going to have to show me some really convincing evidence, and you saying that the margin positions are off. Perhaps your math is off. Bitcoin keeps going up to 7,800 like a magnet. Perhaps buying pressure is bigger than anticipated? No, there's no anticipation of buying pressure. We don't anticipate what other individuals do in the market. Yeah, Brave browser. We're going to get that daily close above the baseline on the S&P. Yeah, man, it's 1 o'clock, so I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to look at Forex and traditional markets, guys. See if we got any Forex trades coming up here in a few hours. So, all right, guys, especially on a Wanda because the candle closes at... All right, guys, so don't go anywhere. If this is your first time to the channel, or if you're just a returning viewer and you want to support us, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Give us some love wherever you happen to be. Facebook, DLive, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to share us to your family, your friends, even people you don't like. This information is important. I'll be back in just a few moments, guys. All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there. We're back. Live in the scene. Revival Tech Repairman, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime subscription. 5 months resubbing. My good brother Scott, thank you so much, man, for supporting the stream with your own ching. Maza, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Looks like I need money. If you want to give me money, that's fine. I definitely don't need it, brother. Just tried shredding over this track, doesn't work. What is the relationship? Inspect the deck says, what is the relationship that causes BNB last week is worth $34 and its BTC value was .0039, but now it's $29 and worth the same Satoshi value? Because Bitcoin is worth less money now. So if you're valuing something in Bitcoin, the BTC pair is going to depend on the BTC to USD valuation. If you are valuing something against USD on its own, that's going to be independent of its own value against USD. So the reason why it's the same SAT value right now and worth less USD is because that same SAT value is worth less USD. Ace of Spades, thank you so much, man. He says, great content as always. Learned so much from your streams. Do I have any recommendations in regards to exchanges that provide a stop loss and take profit at the same time? So, well, what you can do is utilize an option like 3 commas, which if you'd like to use 3 commas, I have a link down in the description below. Highly recommend it. It'll save you 10% on your fees. Or just sign up with 3 commas. It's what I use to trade on Binance because that does allow you to set a take profit and stop loss at the same time on Binance, which is the only exchange that I like to trade spot altcoins on. You can also set trailing take profits, trailing buys, multiple take profits, conditional trades. They've got bots. I don't mess with any of that. I just prefer trading my own strategy and using my own tools, but they have that if you'd like. Or you can use trailing crypto. That's another alternative. And then as far as futures, I trade on ByBit. I do trade altcoins on BitMEX. As ByBit adds more pairs, I'll move that off there. Like currently, I trade. And the thing that I really like about ByBit is that I can trade different pairs. I trade against the dollar valuation and not the Bitcoin valuation. So it's a little different, a little bit more comfortable. There's a link down in the description for that too as well, if you'd like. Let's do Forex. Look at the euro dollar. Euro dollar having a pullback today. And yeah, generally this is why we don't want to take longs that are above our qualification, right? So here's a long signal right here, and we would have actually hit our first take profit on that. So that would have been a winner, okay, the euro dollar trade. But right now, getting a nice pullback into what would technically be considered a buy zone above the baseline. So again, the only types of reversals that we're allowed to take are pullbacks to the baseline, or lower time frame reversals within the trend, which is a little bit more complicated, but actionable. Dollar yen, again, having a nice little bit of consolidation. Big drop the other day, still bearish on this asset. Again, continuation short right here. Probably would not have hit our take profit, honestly. And again, that's not a trade that we take either due to the fact of being too far beyond our qualifier. Yep, as you can see, well beyond our qualifier. So nothing to do with the dollar yen right now. Pound dollar. Pound dollar actually looks like we might be getting a long here tomorrow. We'll see. Keep our eyes on this one. This one's been a great short. Minx has called for a short here. Minx called for a continuation short here. That's actually probably an L, but man, that made up for it here because we got our take profit right here. Aussie dollar still bullishly trending. Our long signal was right here. At our first take profit. Yep, long signal right here. Hit our first take profit. Didn't hit our second take profit. So just holding on to this trade. Looking for more continued bullishness to the upside. Dollar CAD. Let's see, WADA gave us the short signal here. And would have hit our take profit off of WADA, not off of Minx. Nothing to do right now. This is still shorting territory. Dollar Swissy. Continuation short on this candle right here. We've hit take profit 1. I think we hit take profit 2 on this wick. And now just waiting. No signal to be out of the dollar Swissy short yet. Euro yen, again, looking better than the dollar yen, but not a trade to take right now. Euro pound is still okay. We got a continuation long here. Hit take profit 1. And probably getting close to being out at break even today. So we'll wait, see if we get a nice bounce off the baseline, see if we get another trade. Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar good. Kiwi dollar good. Got the trending long right here. Above the qualifier again. Similar with that euro dollar trade that we would have taken. We would hit take profit 1 on this. And holding above. Let's look at the dollar yuan. Dollar yuan. Continuation long here. And still holding on to this trade. Pound CAD, nothing to do. Let's look at gold. Again, got the long signal over here. And gold trending very strongly. Gold trending very strongly. Had you taken that trade, you've already hit take profit 1, take profit 2, and take profit 3. You'd be out of this trade and looking for continuation. Which, in fact, we might be getting a pullback over the next couple of days. Look at that big wick to the upside. Doesn't really mean anything. But we do see Minx pulling back to the noise area. So we'll see what happens. Palladium, nothing to do on Palladium. Palladium just consolidating. Got the long signal here. The last trade we did it take profit one off of. Nothing to do right now. Nothing on silver continues to trend well as well. Had you taken this long signal again, a qualifier above. This is 3 trades we looked at where we're taking the trade above our qualifier, and the only thing that happens is that we hit take profit once. So still good trades, but on this you're probably out at break even now. Rhodium, you did get a WADA long yesterday, which would be doing quite nicely for you, and Minx is going to give you a continuation long on this candle right here. You've already hit take profit one off the WADA long. Doing pretty well. Il Detour 0, thank you so much for the follow over there on Twitch, my good friend. Okay, go to long term. It's right here. Take a look at the total crypto market cap. Again, looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart as it always does. Break down below our daily baseline and consolidating currently right now on this candle. Altcoin market cap looks a little bit more similar. Longs to shorts ratios, as I talked about, having a little bit of equilibrium right now because longs and shorts are dropping off simultaneously. Let's go take a look at what longs are doing just in and of themselves. Longs continuing to drop off even though price is rising. What that means is that individuals are taking advantage of this pullback, of this correction in the bullish trend to take profits off of their longs to sell at less of a loss or break even. Similar to shorts, shorts are dropping off, mostly taking profit on the positions that they put on those who caught the reversal. Looking at CME futures, CME futures actually looks a little bit more constructive, honestly, because we didn't have as massive of a movement to the downside. Again, still bearish, still below the signal line, and actually giving you a short on this candle right here, which is nice to see. GBDC putting in a nice hammer candle down here at the bottom. Short signal generated right here below the baseline, so holding on to that. Volatility is actually dying down today. Lower volatility. We did get a nice heightened volatility, good times to trade. Still above 3, so still good trading opportunities, still trading materials. When volatility is above 3, those are very, very good times to trade. Bitcoin dominance continues to drop, but not very concretely. This is just good bullishness trending to the downside, right? Short here on Bitcoin dominance. This is typically good for altcoins. And Tether dominance. Again, got a long signal on Tether dominance right here, which is often can be seen as a leading indicator to move out. As you can see, WADA gets you in right here. So this is good. This is good. Tether dominance not making a massive run. So again, I expect to see some consolidation. All right, over to traditionals. S&P 500, I think we are going to close above the daily baseline right here. No signal to go long, as you can see. WADA is not telling us to do anything. Neither is Minx, so we don't do anything yet. We just exit any short position that we would have had. Again, shorting the S&P for a while. Similar with the NASDAQ. NASDAQ looks like it is not going to close above the baseline. It is farther away. Why? Because we had more bearish expansion to the downside with the NASDAQ than we actually did with the S&P. Short signal here. Short signal here. And again, looking at the S&P like that, I would expect Bitcoin, if this continues to go on, if this is going to go on a run and actually give us a nice bullish trending long signal, would be typically bearish, traditionally, historically bearish for cryptocurrency. Looking at the Dow as well, over on TVC, yes, we are closing above the baseline here as well, and do not have the signal from WADA Atar right now. Falling explosion level, even though we do have a green bar printing above, so we are going to need to wait for a little bit of confirmation on WADA. Have I looked at Ethereum Classic yet? I have not. Yeah, continuing to pull back after a nice tear. So you can see where we went long on Ethereum Classic right here on this candle. Hit all 3 of our take profit targets right around here, I believe, was when we were fully out. Let's go look at Quadrigo. Yeah, right here was our last take profit. So sold pretty much the top on Ethereum Classic and now pulling back. Andrew says, I'm pulling out my sledgehammer. Let's go check, Bird. Did not. You're going to get it on today's candle. Now, WADA would have got you into the trade. Actually, no, because you have a falling explosion level. But you are going to get a long signal on QLC today. Not a lot of volume. So apply that if you're going to be doing discretionary position sizing. Okay. So if you guys didn't know, the SEC is suing Kik for conducting an allegedly unregistered $100 million ICO in 2017. Let me just cut to the juicy part. If you guys didn't know, sorry, I just scrolled down way too far. Now, Kik had actually launched a $5 million lawsuit, right? Well, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Kik had launched an initiative to raise $5 million to sue the SEC for basically being a jerk, okay? Being a jerk face. And as soon as Kik announced that, what did the SEC do? They said, well, we're going to go ahead and investigate you for your $100 million unregistered ICO, Mr. Canadian cryptocurrency company. So this is just a lesson, man. I mean, when you poke the bull, you get the horns, right? When you poke the bull, you get the horns. However, my hat is off to Kik because this is exactly what I would like to see. You need to see individuals step out on the front lines and be courageous and be brave and poke the bear. I guess it's probably more appropriate to say the bear in this particular situation. But again, this is how things get settled. Things get settled in court or in back alleys with knives. So anyways, we'll see here. Now, Benjamin Souter, who's at Cobra and Kim. Cobra and Kim's a pretty awesome law firm to follow because they do a lot of... they're pretty vocal. Let's just put it that way. He says that by initiating an action against the SEC, Kik has provided credible arguments which makes the regulator bear legitimate risk if it decides to follow through with an enforcement action. So this is quite interesting. I would actually expect this to get dropped potentially because of the publicity that this is likely to bring. You know, for example, Kik launches an initiative to raise funds to sue the SEC, and the SEC then out of nowhere decides to crack down on Kik. That doesn't really look good. That doesn't really look good. That's something that you can really get some public support rallying around. What else here? Rakuten partnering with Japan's biggest railway firm to promote cashless payments. And this is interesting because Rakuten is a Japanese e-commerce giant. It's like Amazon of Japan, right? And JRE, which is JR East, which is the biggest railway company in Japan. You have to understand that Rakuten bought what is it? It's called Rakuten Wallet, but they bought something. Yeah, everybody's Bitcoin in August of 2018. They paid $2.4 million for it, right? So they already have, and then they launched Rakuten Wallet in this month. So they already have a plan to have cryptocurrency wallets. And this is pretty big for Japan because everybody uses the railway system in Japan. So the idea that you're going to be able to use your cryptocurrency payments very seamlessly, easily from your phone, cashless payments, or from whatever device that you'd like, to be able to pay for something that just about everybody who is commuting around Japan uses every single day is pretty good for adoption. Let's see here. This is kind of interesting. Just an individual saying that Bitcoin is a useful leading indicator as a tip-off for when gold is going to trend or when the traditional markets are going to do poorly. Let's see here. This is, I guess, okay, Peter Bukvar. Highlighting gold as a potential alternative to Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. He's a gold bug, Mr. Peter Schiff over there. So he's talking about using Bitcoin as a signaling indicator, right? As a signaling indicator. So when you see Bitcoin rising, you're expecting to see weakness from traditional assets. And you're also expecting to see gold valuate, which is honestly what we just saw. Let's see here. Polish exchange shuts down and disappears with customers' funds. So I'm sorry, guys. It's Quadriga CX all over again, but this time in Poland, right? So CoinRoom. Anybody who had funds on CoinRoom, I am sorry to tell you, you are screwed. And this is just kind of what you get when you trade on non-established exchanges over there. You'll hear I've never recommend trading on there's only certain exchanges that I trade on. I say it every single day. I trade on Binance, ByBit, BitMEX, and Deribit. You will not see me put my funds on any other exchange, with the exception of, two others that I do have funds on. I have Bittrex. I don't actively trade over there, but I do got some funds over there. And Coinbase. That's it, right? Why Coinbase and Bittrex? Because they're registered in the United States, all right? It's a good higher chance that I'm going to be able to sue Bittrex and Coinbase if they do something bad and get my funds back. And Binance, because that's where all the liquidity is. That's where all the altcoins is. On spot markets, it has the highest liquidity of any other exchange out there. So, CoinRoom shut down its operations and disappeared with customer funds, as was reported on May 31st. So, they ceased operations overnight. They disappeared with customers' money in April. Some say they had up to about 15,000 in their accounts on average, it seems. Now, what's I guess not nice about this is that they gave you 24 hours to withdraw your money, which was in accordance apparently with their terms of service, but a lot of people noticed that they weren't actually able to take that money out. So those who actually got the email, for those of us who check our emails every day like normal, responsible human adults, then maybe you would have got your funds. However, consumers reportedly claim that some of them got only part of the money, while most of them did not receive their funds back at all. So this is just your traditional exit scam, garbage-ass cryptocurrency exchange. And Mark Karpellis back in the news. Mark Karpellis back in the news, guys. So the saga of Mark Karpellis is an interesting one. I mean, this guy, former CEO of Mt. Gox, and he's just done a lot of interesting things, right? His life has been fairly interesting to watch and follow, and he's pretty outspoken and vocal. Just your typical manga anime type of nerd who actually did something with his life and was pretty successful in what he did. So he is now going to be serving as the CTO of what's the name of this company? They just say New Japan Registered Blockchain Technology Firm. Can we get some more information, please? Okay. No, that just took me to a search function. Okay, so it's developed by Tristan Technologies. Do they not have a name yet? Typically, you want to have a name before you launch. You got to have something that's like catchy. Like Bittrex or cracking cryptocurrency. Anyways, I digress. And of course, this is kind of what everybody's been talking about. Justin Sun paying $4.57 million in a charity auction to have lunch with Warren Buffett. What's really going to make it awesome is if Justin Sun takes this lunch and then just gets up and, well, actually, what would be really funny, right? Now, this would not be funny, and I'm sorry if I'm going to lose any viewers. But if Warren Buffett just takes the meeting and says, "So you're into that Bitcoin stuff, huh?" and Justin Sun's like, "No, it's Tron, right? So it's different, right?" And Warren Buffett's like, "Tron? You mean that movie from the '80s?" And I'm expecting Warren Buffett to basically just order a salad, right, and be like, "All right, I gotta go. I got something to do later." Like Mt. Gox? Yeah, Mt. Gox was catchy, man. Every time Justin Sun talks live, TRX tanks. Yeah, especially if Warren Buffett says, wait, there's this thing called BitMEX where we can short sell? Let's take it down. I don't think Warren Buffett's ever going to come around. That'd kind of be like one of those deathbed confessions, like Warren Buffett's laying on his deathbed, and he's surrounded by people just like what's his name? Timothy Leary. Timothy Leary went out on his deathbed, surrounded by family. He took acid, and reportedly right before he died, he said, "Oh, it's beautiful." Now I think that's probably nothing. When you die, you die. It's probably just what do they call that? The void, but oblivion. That's the right word that I'm looking for. But I'm kind of torn on that. That's kind of a personal thing that every human being has to walk through, contemplate the end of their life. But I think that Warren Buffett would probably be on his deathbed and people are gathered around and he's just like, "Come closer, closer." And they're like, What, dude? What's up, man? What's up, Grandpa? And he's like, "I've been hodling this whole time." And then he dies. And they're like, "Wait, no! what was the private key? You know, so something like that, right? So for those of you guys don't know, the Binance DEX is going to geo-block users from 29 countries, including the US. So if you're a United States citizen, you can't actually go to Binance.org and trade on the DEX. Now, I've heard some reports and people saying that, oh, well, this is a blockchain. This is why it's not centralized. No, it is a blockchain. It's a regular blockchain, man. The issue, the thing is that the website is how you access the DEX, right? So if you can remotely access the DEX, then you can go ahead and, you know, access it from any country that you want. The blockchain is unable to geo-block you, right? It's just impossible to do that. But the website can, and the website is the interface to the DEX to actually get stuff done on the DEX. Those are the input command lines. So VPNs are a necessity, man. VPNs are a necessity. Now, I tell those people a lot, like, how can you trade on ByBit? How you can trade on BitMEX? You trade with a VPN. You can trade on any exchange. You should always have a VPN on and protect your privacy and security. It doesn't matter whether you're not doing anything that you're not comfortable with. It's just good, regular security. In a world out there where information and data is collected, processed, and profited on, regardless of whether you know it, approve of it, or like it, you have to take measures to protect your privacy and your security. And that's why I always have a VPN on. 24/7, always have a VPN on, no matter what. VPN I use is Windscribe. There's a link down in the description, which will give you some free bandwidth if you want to check them out. I highly recommend them. I've been with Windscribe for a long time. You can sign up anonymously. You can pay with cryptocurrency. Very supportive of cryptocurrency. That's why I use Windscribe. At least until Web 3. Yeah, what was the name of that absolute failure cryptocurrency? Substratum, right? That's, yes, the saga of Substratum, man. So maybe they'll finally come out with a working model. All right, so real 10 24-hour volume for Bitcoin is 1.156 billion. 329 million for Ethereum. Bitcoin Cash coming in at 272 milli. So honestly, not great volume. Not great volume. Scott says, that's all right. Ethereum will make Web3 for some Stratum instead. Take it easy, Light Rainy. Good to see you, brother. I don't, Mr. Ether. Scott could probably recommend you something. There you go. Yeah, he was already on it, man. Super fast. When to short BSV? Let's go take a look. Not yet. Not yet. We're still above the baseline, so we don't short things below the baseline. In fact, we're consolidating our secondary baseline. So Matt says, I agree with Scott. Ethereum is the best. I feel like you guys aren't the best neutral parties. I'm sure both of you mine Ethereum or have mined Ethereum. I'm not disagreeing with you fundamentally, but I'm just saying you might not be the most impartial parties. You guys are both good people. Let's see here. Well, For sure. I know, Matt. You are the OG, brother. Sure why, yeah, restream chat just totally not working for me. Ooh, chat templates? Ooh, cool. There we go. I got it working. Boom. Look at that. I click buttons and things happen. Yes. I am bearish on Bitcoin. Nego. And my money is where my opinions are, because I am short on Bitcoin. I am in Tether. I am in fiat. It's been a good run. It's been a good run, and that's not, again, I don't make massive price predictions. We could tank a couple thousand, or we could pop back up and start trending again. But I just want to put things into perspective for you guys, okay? And it's about gratitude, right? Let's take a look at Ethereum, and let's take a look at this bullish rise, right? Just look at that. That's a good bullish trend, man. That is a very good bullish trend, especially this last leg of it, right? It's okay. It's natural for us to have a little bit of consolidation, and it's natural for us to just sit on the sidelines and wait for the trend to reestablish. That's what we do as trend followers. We ride trends. We surf the trend. Seems like we've kind of fallen off the board here right now, so we just go in short, and we protect our capital, and we just go in whichever the market decides to move. If price decides to have a significant retrace back down to a more fundamental level of support, that's totally fine. As I've talked about with the longer term analysis of Bitcoin on the weekly chart, if we look at the important levels, we want to look at the weekly 1355 exponential moving average crossover, which happened here. So I do think that we are in a bull market, because that's exactly what happened the last time. That's how the last bear market ended. We had the 1355 crossover. We had a few weeks of expansion, a pullback back down to that weekly 13 exponential moving average, a little bit of consolidation, and then we're off to the races. So as I've been saying this for a couple weeks, even while price was moving up, I said, listen, I'm long, but I wouldn't be surprised that when we do break the trend line, when we do break our baseline on the daily, that we do eventually get a pullback down here to either our primary or our secondary baselines on the weekly chart. So that's going to be, we still have got a lot of room down left to go. There's still a lot of pullback to still remain quite bullish, right? Because we have our first level of expansion here, consolidation, second level of expansion, right? This is typical kind of a stair-stepping of parabolic movements, movement to the upside, sideways consolidation, continued movements to the upside. So a pullback down to our weekly 13, which would still be another 15% to the downside, nay, even a pullback to our weekly 55, which would be another 25% to the downside, is totally fine, right? You can still be macro, like long-term, weekly, monthly chart, bullish, but short on the daily, right? So in the smaller term time frame, so over the next week or so, bearish. Yes, absolutely. I am currently in a short on ZERP oozed and a long on ZERP Bitcoin. Correct. Yes. Let's see. All right. Go, metal, go. Long signal right here from Minx. And just hovering at break even right now. Nice pull back to the daily baseline right here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Good volume too, man. Look at that volume. That is trend starting volume right there. Doesn't mean we go right now, but I like that. You need volume to begin and end a trend. Yeah, I mean, just look at that volume right there compared to everything else. That's big. Same volume that you needed to begin the downtrend. A lot of selling. Yeah, Mazaka Jr. That's because I only trade at one time a day, man. That's my strategy. I don't open trades intraday. No. So I do like everything, and if it still looks good. So for example, this trade right here signaled along yesterday. So I could have taken the trade yesterday within my 1 hour window. Now I have discretion to take this trade today as part of my strategy, but I'm not going to take a trade if it's not within my window that I trade within every day. Just like everybody who watches this show and uses their 2 ears more than their one mouth knows. We do things a certain way here. And the reason, again, people who watch the whole show or who hang out or ask questions before they make assumptions, okay. It's hard to control yourself sometimes, I know. It's hard being a 19-year-old. But I'm already in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 positions, man. 18 positions. I don't need to add risk. I'm good. I'm well allocated. Every day. I trade the hour prior to the daily candle close. I'm allowed to trade 1 hour prior to and 1 hour after. I did. Anyways, moving. Have fun, live, love. Many have tried. Many have tried. The day is nigh. You can take my bitcoins, but you'll never take my freedom. You guys are cool, man. You mean in my entire trading history? Well, my biggest drawdown would have been my $30,000 account that I lost when I first started trading. That's been my biggest drawdown. I have never lost a sum that much since, which is why 8 years later, I'm able to do professionally. It's all right, Angie. It comes with living a life following rules. Sometimes you have fun and sometimes you grind. You know what I'm saying? My biggest win was everything that I cashed out in Bitcoin in 2017. I mean, the biggest win was 2017, man. I've been trading crypto since 2016, and just overall, it's the sub. What's the word I'm looking for? It's the tertiary benefits of trading an asset that rose. That's none of your business, brother. Justin, BTC still appears to be in a bull market for now from the 3K bottom. What price will we need to drop to for you to think the trend has reversed and we are back in a bear trend? So again, there's a difference when we say that. The question is good. So we're in a bearish trend. We're in the beginnings of a potential bearish trend right now, which is why I took the short, right? Because ideally, the system that I trade and the indicators that I use are there to signal when the likelihood of a trend is when a trend is likely to develop right now. So that's the trades that I take. Now, are we in a higher time frame? Are we in a weekly and a monthly bullish trend? Yes, absolutely. To be quite honest with you, the monthly trend is in its early beginnings. So if we go over to Bitcoin and we look at the weekly and the monthly, let's go to the monthly. All right, the monthly just entered into a bullish trend on the close of last month's candle, and we're getting a pullback, right? Which is typically not a surprising, which we're going to see. If we go look at our qualifiers, we can actually see that monthly, it wasn't actually a monthly trade because the monthly trade was above our qualifying line. However, we're now pulling back on the very next candle into our qualifying zone. So that's a trade that we're able to take on a monthly, right? So since the monthly is still bullish overall, I mean, we can say that we're in a bear market, or excuse me, we're in a bull market. On the weekly, which is a more tradable asset in time frame, we can go down and see that, as I've said before, that there we go. As we can see, the weekly 1355 exponential moving average crossover, which in my opinion is what signaled in the bullish market last time, or signaled that the bullish market was here with enough time to be long, tells us that if we see what happened last year, or excuse me, back in 2015, we'll see the break, which we saw, and then we'll see the pullback to confirm support and then move to the upside. So yes, again, do I think we're in a bull market? Yes. Are we in a currently tradable bearish trend that we should be short on right now? Yes. Damn, Angie. Yeah, that's the lesson. The lesson is never open doors for anyone. If you are in a trade and the door knocks, child cries, bombs go off, they're going to have to wait. They're just going to have to wait. No, that's what's nice about trading the way that I trade. I am not tethered or tied to my monitor. I trade once a day. Change things once a day. He's open. The heck, man. Correct, web dev. Yeah. You can use the system on any time frame. I get DMs all the time from guys in the group that say, hey man, I'm taking this hourly trade, or I just crushed this 3-hour trade, or I killed this 15-minute trade. It's a system that works on any time frame, but there are a lot of benefits to trading on the daily. A lot. So am I not allowed to take lower time frame trades? No, but the majority of my trades are done across the daily time frame for very good reason. Singularity.net. Doing good, man. Let's see here. We took this trade a few days ago. I'm up 5.58% on it right now. Just kind of been hovering around, man. Yeah, I put this trade on June 1st. 1 or 2% a day keeps a boring job away. That's exactly it, man. Compound interest. It's just one of the things I say, man. Most people in trading think that it's the massive big wins. It's not. It's the small consistent wins every day, every week, every month, right? And it's making the losses small, right? And that's position sizing. It's having a statistical edge. It's keeping a journal. It's taking things like, what is your capital account balance? How much are you going to expose to risk? Okay, do I have to reduce my position size by that? That's how real professional money managers and professional traders like myself actually have an edge in this market. A knife catch a day keeps the wrecked away. Oh, hell no. Yeah, Agi's good, man. Long signal was right here. Got to pull back to the daily baseline on the very next candle. And here we go. Let's go, baby. Waiting patiently. Nice, James. Good stuff, man. I try to remain quite humble, Mr. Aaron. MDA, take profit 1, guys. For everybody in the group, this is the only time we adjust positions. Stop loss is now moving to break even. That's it. This is Mind Me featuring Amaranth, and it's called Breaking Hearts. Amaranthine? Amaranthine? Mind Me featuring Amaranthine, Breaking Hearts. Pretty good song. Sorry, going back to that MDA. $13,011. Whoops. I did that wrong. 12076. Gotcha. All right, so stop loss at break even right now, guys. And 13.96. Big profit 2 set alerts for. That's it. That's all you got to do, guys. Justin, am I a Tesla man? You know, I really would like a Tesla, yeah. I've been thinking about it. What chart, Midwest? What were we just looking at? Remind me of the chart. Crypto's for Lambos, not Teslas. Tesla's awesome, man. Oh, Tesla the man, not the car. Oh, you mean Elon Musk. Yeah, he's cool, dude, I guess. Live, love, or dice. I mean, there's no problem, man. There are just benefits to trading on the daily. And generally, the more risk that you expose yourself to, the more opportunity you have to do bad things or make mistakes. Seven, web dev newbie. Nikola is the real Tesla. Oh, MDA? There are a few things that we haven't talked about yet, Midwest. Mitigating factors. Discretionary position sizing, discretionary trading. So, yes, there's a method to my madness, brother. Ilka Engstrom and Iskatsan, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube. Sorry if I can't pronounce your name. Zerp USD, let's check it out. That's a short. I always think they're saying watching Fortnite. Watching Fortnite. Oh, Tesla? Yeah, that's the man, dude. Nikola Tesla? He got messages from aliens or something. I also kept it open and sent you a message about it, wondering if we kept it open for the same reason. Brother, it's like our minds are linked, man. Yeah, Zerp USD was a short on yesterday's candle close. Boom. And it was a move into USD and 1x short it in totality on the close of the 19th, or the 2nd, year 2019. No problem, brother. Now all of a sudden we're bullish long? No. Nope. No, we are not. Well, you guys know what time it is, guys. We've loved, we've laughed, we've cried. We traded some crypto. And we had a good day, guys. So thank you so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, I've been your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure to trade safely. Don't do anything you're not supposed to do. However you're trading, make sure that you are following a systemic, strategic system of entering and exiting positions that has a fully fleshed out risk management strategy. If you do not have those things, if you would like help developing those things, if you would like access to our indicators, if you would like access to our private Discord community, to our team of analysts and mentors, as well as our educational content and our Pathways to Profit course, of course, you can check the link up at the top. Maybe it's up here at the top of the screen, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. I'd be happy to help you guys out. Or you can check the link down in the description. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe, give us the thumbs up, and hit the bell, whether you're watching us across YouTube, DLive, Twitch, and or Facebook Live. And if you're not watching on YouTube, make sure to show us some love and also share this to your friends, your family, even people you don't like. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, trade safely. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, leave them in the section down below, and I will get back to you within 48 hours if it is a legitimate question. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you
Bye.